Welcome to the Duelyst Beta 0.61.0 patch, where we saw a change in the card mechanics in the game. Now we will be able to only draw one card at the beginning of each turn normally, and we're going to start with a hand of 5 cards instead of 3 cards. Now this is going to create dynamic change in the metagame, because now control decks will be more viable since you can play one card per turn without losing up on your card draw, as well as maintaining tempo in your game. Mid-range and aggro decks are going to see a little decline because now you're going to have to accumulate card draw in your deck to sustain your hand size and board presence. In addition to this patch, we saw blanket changes within the game, which a large number of cards have been patched. Unfortunately, you won't be able to get a full dust refund out of these cards. However, there's a soft reset which you can get back all the cards that you've gained in rewards, as well as all the orbs that you have opened during the game. Some notable changes within the patch was Nisoro Assassin only be able to kill minions under 2 health, and the Spelljammer and other cards turning into card draw. Another feature introduced to the game was the watch feature, which you can see the loading screen for it on the intro page. Now with the watch screen, you can see 10 curated games for each division, so I'll be using that to see what's going on in the S-rank division. Onto the monthly card changes, we see that there's a new keyword introduced which is called Force Field. This prevents the first damage implemented on a creature that turn, as well as reset at the end of a turn, so you'll be able to reuse the Force Field effects. These cards, however, do not have very good stats that go along with the strong keyword, so they may not see a lot of play in the future outside of Gauntlet. The first 5 installments of Duelyst lore was introduced into the game, starting with the terraforming of a planet with a starseed impacting the supercontinent of Mithron, splitting it into 7 different continents. Magic was introduced into the world and was sparked into many species from the Great Tree of Eos, which was the opening tree into the game. Now this tree absorbed energy from the core of Mithron, which transformed the planet whenever the tree sparked the energy into the world, which introduced some of our factions, like the Magmar aspects, which are clearly the oldest of the 6 factions, and the ancestors from the Songhai were the most proficient with the magical energy from Mithron. They also had orange hair, which is a pretty good sign that they were Songhai ancestors. However, we also see that the Intercra are a little bit more unclear, since they do have properties of the Vision Host because they gain powers from the kill. However, we know that the Vision Host and Vestruvian do share a common ancestor, which means that the Intercra could be the common ancestor. In the month of March, Counterplay also introduced the Master of the Gauntlet Invitational, which included gameplay from teams of 3 Gauntlet players who tried to accumulate the most number of wins in a lot of time. Winners of a competition would receive their spots in the contest of Grandmaster's Invitational. Now, while it's unclear whether this would feature Gauntlet or constructed gameplay, if it is constructed, we can expect to see that receiving top 50 in the end of the season will help you get a spot in the competition. In the mid-March patch, we also saw changes in the user interface, which made the game a little bit more user-friendly for newer players. Along with the initiative to increase usability for newer players, the beginning quests were a little bit easier, so you will no longer receive orbs at level 11 with a faction. Instead, you will gain gold from the beginning of the game.